Hi guys, welcome back to Ex-Mormons. Today I want to talk about why so many people who leave the Mormon church become atheists. I get this question pretty frequently on all my platforms, so I figured why not just make a long form video about it on YouTube, and then maybe when I get the comment I could just copy and paste the link and make it easy. This question is typically asked by people who are well-meaning Christians, and they will usually also leave a comment that says something like, well, do you still believe in Jesus? I'm so glad that you made it out of the cult, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I feel especially qualified to speak on this topic because I am in fact an ex-Mormon who does not believe in God. So let's start out with this. A lot of people who ask questions about this topic think that Mormonism just ruins God and Jesus for people, and I don't think that's the case. Here's the way it goes for most people who leave the Mormon church and then eventually stop believing in religion altogether. As Mormons, we believe that the Mormon church is the only true church on the face of the earth because we are quite literally taught / indoctrinated to believe that. We are also taught that some other religions have like bits of the truth, but our church is the only one that has the entirety of the true gospel, and our church is also the only one that is led with God's authority. Many Mormons also go on missions, and as part of that missionary training, many of them are taught all of the ways in which every other religion is not true and how to argue that point, which will then come into play later when they end up leaving Mormonism. When someone questions, researches, and ultimately ends up leaving the Mormon church, they usually don't just give up on the idea of religion altogether right away. For me, when I questioned Mormonism and stopped attending the Mormon church, there was a period of time where I believed that, yes, the Mormon church was a fraud, but that didn't mean that God was. I threw out all of my Mormon stuff, like my books of Mormon and my garments, my temple clothes, but I still kept several copies of the Bible. I was going to study the Bible and be a Christian. My husband and I even talked about whether or not we were going to join another congregation and which one we would join, but ultimately we decided that organized religion probably was not for us. We just felt like, after all of our experiences within Mormonism, that organized religion was too easily corruptible. So then we started having discussions about how we were going to teach our kids about the Bible at home on Sundays. We were still going to pray and worship Jesus, but without all the Mormonism stuff. However, as I studied more and more about the Mormon church and considered everything that I was learning, I realized that I was very, very closed off to even the idea of atheism or agnosticism in any way. Because of my Mormon upbringing, the idea of atheism seemed like pure evil to me. I was unwilling to question religion or the Bible or Jesus in the same way that I'd spent my whole life being unwilling to question Mormonism. And I realized that if I was unwilling to question religion as a whole in the same way that I was unwilling to question the Mormon church, I was still very vulnerable to being bamboozled. And I realized I really did not want to spend another 25 years believing something only to find out that it was untrue and go through yet another mental breakdown. So I, like many other ex-Mormons, decided I was going to put the Bible and religion itself to the test, the same way I had done with Mormonism. When I was questioning Mormonism, I looked at it critically for the first time. I read from LDS.org, which is the official LDS website. I read from the Book of Mormon. I looked into different apologist websites about Mormonism, but I also looked at outside information for the first time. I spent months looking into it and deconstructing it. And it turns out that Mormonism isn't actually all that different from hundreds of other religions when you start looking at the big picture. So why do so many ex-Mormons leave the Mormon church and stop believing in God? It's generally because they apply the same critical thinking skills and research that led them out of Mormonism to the rest of religion as a whole. And not many of us take those steps lightly, which is one of the reasons that it feels pretty condescending to us when Christians try so desperately to get us to reconsider. We have done our homework. We looked into it. We spent a lot of time on it, and we promise we have made an informed choice. We totally get that you mean well, but we are good where we're at, and we'll let you know if we change our minds. And this isn't to say that all ex-Mormons go through this process the same way or that we all believe the same things. This is just as somebody who's spent years now making content about this topic and talking to other people who have gone through something similar, this is pretty common. I also want to mention that somebody not believing in God does not mean that they worship the devil. There is a shocking number of people who think that. We also don't believe in Satan. They're under the same umbrella for us. Also, if you're watching this and you're a Christian, I didn't make this video to make you feel bad or call you out. You can believe whatever you want, be a part of whatever religion you want, that's totally fine. I just wanted to honestly answer this question and also let you know that the majority of us ex-Mormons are tired of being bugged about it. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Thanks to my patrons for supporting the channel. It's much appreciated. Extra special thank you to Amy and Doug Davis for supporting at the Demon tier on my Patreon. If you would like to support my channel and the work that I do here, there are links to do so in the description. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!